everybody, and welcome to Nathan on Shuffle and to my latest episode of New Music Weekly. It's December 2nd, 2022, and this is the show where I give you guys the top 5 prog headlines of the week, talk about the top 5 best singles of the week, and give you a bit of an update on the channel and what's going on here on Nathan on Shuffle. So, glad you guys could join me. I apologize for last weekend. I wasn't able to put out a show. I was traveling for the Thanksgiving holiday here in the US, traveling to see family. Also missed the last Prog Song Sunday show. Didn't have time to be able to edit that one, but it'll resume its normal schedule this upcoming Sunday, so don't you worry. Everything should be back to normal now, and we're heading into this year-end stuff that I'm really excited about. But first, this week's headlines, and this is basically covering not just this week, but last week, essentially, the week I missed, because there was a lot of cool news and things that came out then that I want to mention now. So let's get into it, get into the news today. All right, the first news item that I want to discuss is Transatlantic announcing their new live release, The Final Flight, live at Olympia. This is from their latest tour that they did for The Absolute Universe that took place last year. This was the final show of that tour, filmed in France, and it's coming out February 17th, 2023 on multiple formats. It's coming out on vinyl as well as on the Blu-ray/CD version as well. So lots to look forward to. It's going to be quite a cool package. I'm sure the band talks really highly about this performance and how emotional and tight they were that night. So seems like it should be a really special concert film to enjoy and concert CD and all of that stuff. So it's a little bit concerning that it's called The Final Flight. For fans of Transatlantic, it's becoming more and more increasingly apparent that the band may not continue any further from this point on. It seems like they talk about this final concert as a final concert for the band in total, which is a little bit sad for fans like me, but it just seems like, I don't know if there was some discussions while they were on tour, some arguments or anything like that. I don't know if there was any drama perhaps, or maybe they just decided it was time to hang their hats up because they've been at this for quite some time and felt like they've done all that they can as Transatlantic. And who knows, maybe in like 5 or 6 years they'll reconvene or do something new with Transatlantic. So you could never completely close the book on something like this, because I initially closed the book on Transatlantic back after Bridge Across Forever and Neil Morse left and all that stuff happened. I thought they were done as a group, but here they came back with the Whirlwind. So you never know, something like that could happen in the future. But for now, this is basically the final big release from them. I believe they're going to also release their Morsefest concert in the near future, so there is another Transatlantic release to look forward to beyond this one, but they're slim. There's only a few releases left here by the band, so potentially, so it's interesting. They also released a video of Owl Howl, highlight from the album, and so you could check out that video. I'm gonna put it as one of the top 5 singles, so you can check it out in the description. So this should be a really cool, really expansive Blu-ray, 96-minute concert, full bells and whistles, them playing the whole Ultimate Edition of the Absolute Universe, along with selections from the Whirlwind and selections from their classic albums in a really cool medley. So it's a really cool concert film, and it seems like it's going to be a really great package. So highly suggested for all fans of Transatlantic who are like me and obsessively collecting all of their releases. So that should be fun to look forward to. Item number 2, this would have been one of the headlines for last week. Haken released a interesting puzzle that announced their new album upcoming called Fauna. And the details are still unclear. They're kind of slow rolling this new album. The announcements are coming piece by piece. Maybe this puzzle is indicative of that nature, of how they're releasing the information about the album. So this was more of a little bit of a teaser before they really give the full album details, like what date it's going to come out, or track listing, or pre-order stuff. That should be coming soon, I would imagine. In fact, it looks like their next single for the album, The Alphabet of Me, is coming next Friday, December 9th, and I imagine we'll be seeing a bit more information about the upcoming album then. So but for now, they released a little slide puzzle. You had to solve the puzzle, slide all of the pieces in line to get the album cover. and then it released a little bit of a clip from the upcoming album. They also already released Nightingale earlier this year, which I believe is going to be on this album as well. So we already know that piece of it, but it's exciting, the build-up. Haken's one of my favorite bands. Very cool progressive metal that they just continue to impress me, and each album is just really incredible. So this should be a major release of next year, a top album of the year contender for 2023, I'm sure, for me at least. Item number 3, another item from the previous week that was really exciting. Steven Wilson announced basically that he's going to be releasing a new solo album in 2023 called the Harmony Codex. This was just a brief mention. I believe it was on social media. He was posting a video of him with Ninette Tieb, who was involved in the recordings of To the Bone. It was a studio recording clip of them recording Pariah back in 2017. And it seems like Ninette is going to be on this new album as well. They're working together and working on a new song that's going to be forthcoming on the Harmony Codex. So, and he's talked a bit in little interviews, little drips and drabs about this, that this is going to be a pretty experimental record, maybe going a bit away from the poppier direction of the Future Bites that I know a lot of people had mixed feelings about, but he's just exploring the music he loves. He's not really interested in catering to the fans, I suppose. He just wants to do what's artistic, what keeps his artistic integrity intact. So that's basically what we can expect from Steven Wilson next year. So another major release to look forward to. No concrete details about release date and things like that quite yet, but it's really exciting news that that's on the table and coming in the next year. So I'm very eagerly awaiting that release. Item number 4, The Tangent announced Pyramids, Stars, and Other Stories, The Tangent Live Recordings 2004 to 2017. This is going to be released on January 27th, 2023, so we're already stacking up a lot of cool upcoming releases. This is collecting several tracks from different lineups of The Tangent in a big 2 CD, 3 LP package. Shows recorded in 2004, 2011, and 2017. Andy Tillison comments that a triple live LP is a stuff of bucket list. Dreamed of doing one of these since I was a kid. So here we are, a big triple disc, triple LP live album that features a lot of their classic tracks and some of their newer tracks as well. Just a good smattering of songs from their whole discography. So features all of the great players from their past and all these different incarnations, and should be a really fun live album to check out if you're into that, because it just sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. And Andy Tillison is teasing that it's really fun, a real proper live album. It's candid, it's spontaneous. It has mistakes and things that are a bit too loud and things that are a bit too quiet. It's what happened on stage at 3 gigs at which making a live album never crossed our minds. So I think Andy Tillison is trying to say this is very genuine. This is them at their core playing live, warts and all. No special trickery in the studio to mask their mistakes or anything. This is just the raw footage, the raw sound of what they did at these concerts. So another cool package to look forward to if you're a Tangent fan like me. Great classic symphonic prog, and they have been on a great string of albums lately and just a really great band. So I wanted to mention them. Item number 5, the Winery Dogs also are announcing a new album next year, titled 3, I believe at this time. U.S. tour dates as well for 2023. So Mike Portnoy is definitely shifting into Winery Dogs mode. He's posting a lot of clips on social media as well of them recording music videos and such for their new album upcoming. It seems like the first song will be available next Friday. So next Friday is going to have quite a few cool new singles that are basically looks ahead towards next year and some of the big releases. And the song's called Xanadu, which shares a title with a very famous Rush song, but I don't know if it pays homage to it or if it's its totally own thing. But we'll be checking that out next week and seeing what that sounds like. And they'll be CD and digital format for the album, a vinyl edition, all of that stuff. Of course, the vinyl will probably be delayed like it tends to happen nowadays, but it will be forthcoming. Winery Dogs is a great trio, not quite proggy, it's more of the hard rock edge to Mike Portnoy's sound, more of this basic rock trio, Richie Kotzen, Mike Portnoy, and Billy Sheehan. But they're really great musicians. They play an incredible style here, and so I think for all fans of modern prog and Mike Portnoy can appreciate this. And they have dates already set for the US, starting February 15th, running all the way through April, then a couple dates also in Brazil. So a lot of cool things happening in the camp of the Winery Dogs. And so I wanted to mention that. I also wanted to briefly mention bonus item number 6. Rick Wakeman announced a brand new studio album forthcoming next year on February 24th through Madfish Snapper. Of course, Rick Wakeman is the legendary keyboardist of Yes fame from years past, and this is a new studio album recorded with his English rock ensemble band. It's going to be called A Gallery of the Imagination, and so it should be a really imaginative collection of pieces, basically somewhat of a concept record, according to Wakeman, basically painting your own mind pictures, like you were in an art gallery of sorts. And so that should be a really cool release forthcoming to look forward to for fans of Rick Wakeman and his style. So that's basically what I wanted to cover on this show. On the prog singles side, we've got Riverside with a new single called Self-Aware. This is, of course, from their upcoming ID Entity album coming January 20th, 2023. So check out that single. Incredible band, really have this cool melodic heavy prog style that's really enjoyable. So really liking the singles they're putting out and excited for their new record, which I'll definitely cover in the new year. Also a single for Transatlantic, the live version of Owl Howl from their upcoming live release that I already talked about. Catatonia has a new single out called Austerity, basically previewing their upcoming album coming in January called Sky Void of Stars, much more heavier and darker and moodier, but a really cool listen as well. Another single I have there is Pliny. Pliny announced an extensive U.S. headlining tour in 2023 and released a video of a live version of his track Pan. So that is a really cool live rendition that I recommend you check out on YouTube. Really cool. He does that gent style instrumental guitar playing, and it's really, really impressive. He's one of those guitar virtuosos and really well renowned. And then finally, off the beaten path a little bit, a Hungarian duo of Zsolt Kaltenecker and Adam Marko released a debut album earlier this year in April, but this is their first video for this track, Space Junk. And so it's a new video, a new single. And so this is really interesting, quirky, progressive rock that I thought would be interesting to a lot of you out there. So those are the singles. And so as for the channel, we're heading towards the end of the year. As I mentioned, this last week on the channel was a bit light because we weren't able to complete the Prog Song Sunday this last week because of being out of town and just not having time to edit it. But it will be back this Sunday, and we're excited about it. A really cool, more modern, progressive track coming on that episode, so I think you guys will really like that. I had a top 5 this week that was really well received. A lot of great lists and a lot of great selections from everybody. Really thank you guys for commenting on those videos. Those top 5s are really fun. This topic was top 5 prog songs by non-prog artists, which really brought out a lot of interesting choices from a lot of people. So I'm excited to check out a lot of the suggestions there. That's always a lot of fun. Coming up, I'm planning a lot of the year-end content that a lot of these channels tend to do. Best albums of the year, best songs of the year. I'm going to do a big, massive year-end new music shuffle where I cover many of the albums that I just didn't get to covering this year. It's going to be one of those like 30 album reviews in 30 minutes types of shows. So that should be really fun to go through. I'm really preparing really heavily for that, and I think that should be a joy to go through and talk about with everybody. And I'm doing my big album tournament like I did last year, 16 of my favorite albums of the year going head to head in a big tournament style bracket and seeing what wins out as my favorite album of 2022. So that should be a lot of fun. And so I'm just excited about what's coming up in this year-end stuff and really just celebrating the great year we've had in music. It's been incredible. So thank you guys for joining me in this episode, and hopefully you guys are having fun out there listening and enjoying great music. And I hope to catch you in another episode. Thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.